So, a little while ago I did a trivia video about Undertale, and well, I've decided to do another one. We all know that Undertale is chock full of Easter eggs and secrets, but there are still aspects of the game which remain mysterious. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over what are my top 5 unanswered questions and mysteries in Undertale. Bear in mind that these are the questions that I would most like to have answered, so my own opinions are going to play a pretty big part. But if you want to tell me what questions you would most like to have answered, then you can do so by leaving a comment down below. Just like the previous video, watch at your own risk in regard to spoilers. I'm not going to be going out of my way to spoil the story, but I do think that you should just play the game for yourself before watching any videos like this. With that out of the way, let's get started. Number 5. What was the Waterfalls treasure? After completing the Waterfalls piano puzzle, you'll gain access to another room. In this room, there is a legendary artifact. If you try to pick it up, you'll be told that you're carrying too many dogs. What? And of course, when you check your inventory, the annoying dog has appeared. When you choose to drop the dog, it goes up to the legendary artifact, absorbs it, and runs off. Sweet dingus. While I do understand that this item was never meant to be obtained in the first place, I'm still really curious about what it actually is. Probably just a case of wanting what you can't have, but I really want to know. Number 4. Why does Clara hate humanity? If you haven't played through Undertale thoroughly yet, then I guess you should probably stop here. But in a nutshell, Clara was the first human spawned to the underground, and they take control of Frisk's body during and after a genocide playthrough. They've been shown to have sadistic tendencies toward both humans and monsters, but at the end of the pacifist route when talking to Asriel, he specifically states that Clara climbed Mount Ebott because they hated humanity. The reason for this is pretty unclear. If their hatred of humanity stemmed from their treatment of monsters, then why did they behave as they did when in control of Frisk's body? That wouldn't make sense. Asriel states that they never said why they hated humanity, but they did feel very strongly about it. It really is a mystery, and a question that I would love to see answered in the future. Number 3. How does Frisk cross the barrier in a neutral ending? Okay, so I might babble on a little for this one. It may be a complete misunderstanding on my part, but there's something that I really do not understand about Undertale's neutral ending. We know about the barrier which separates the underground from the surface. Both a human and a monster soul is required to pass through the barrier. However, to cross the barrier, you wouldn't be able to make do with any old monster soul. You would have to obtain a boss monster soul. This is because unlike human souls, monster souls do not persist after death. The souls of boss monsters, however, do persist for a little while after death. Asgore Dreamer happens to be a boss monster, and so in order to cross the barrier, Frisk would have to obtain his soul. And this is where things get confusing for me. In the neutral run, when Asgore is killed either at the hands of the protagonist or Flowey, we can see his soul appear after his physical form is destroyed, and then Flowey finishes it off. You can see his soul shatter. And then we go through the whole Photoshop Flowey battle, you know the story. But even after the defeat of Flowey, Frisk is able to make their way back up to the surface. How? We know that one must have the soul of both a human and a monster in order to cross the barrier, but we just saw Asgore's soul shatter. So how is Frisk able to cross the barrier with just their own human soul? I feel like there's something I'm overlooking, so if I've made a massive derp on this point, then please forgive me, but I just can't seem to make sense of this. Number 2. What exactly is in Sans' workshop? Sans' workshop can only be accessed in the pacifist route. Repeatedly reloading your save file will cause Sans to recognize your time traveling abilities, and he'll give you the key to his room. His room doesn't really seem too interesting at first, but in the drawer is a silver key, which unlocks the door to the workshop that we're talking about. The workshop contains a covered machine that appears to be broken. In 2 of the drawers, there are blueprints for this machine written in strange symbols. Most likely wingdings, but you probably already know about that part already. What we don't know is what the dingus this machine is supposed to be. The blueprints seem to suggest that it may have been created by the previous royal scientist, W.D. Gaster, but we may never know. A tweet from Toby Fox himself states that the machine can never be fixed. This leads me to believe that it was indeed W.D. Gaster who created the machine, and would most likely be the only one who truly understands the way it works. And of course, W.D. Gaster does not exist in the world of Undertale as we know it, and so he wouldn't be able to fix the machine. That's my take on it anyway. But I'm still completely stumped on what the machine could even be. A time machine, maybe? I really do hope that we find the answer to this question one day. And number 1 is... who are the other 6 humans? This is by far the question that I would like to have answered the most. There have been a total of 8 humans to fall into the underground, with Clara being the first and Frisk being the last. But of course, there were 6 humans in between the two, and their souls make an appearance in the pacifist or neutral ending, under the possession of Asgore Dreamer. They all have different coloured souls and different traits associated with them. While Clara and Frisk's shared trait is determination, the Snowball game reveals that the traits of the 6 humans were patience, bravery, integrity, perseverance, kindness, and justice. There are a pair of items connected to each soul scattered throughout the world of Undertale. These seem to represent the personalities and interests of each of the 6 humans. This is further emphasized by their attacks as part of Photoshop Flowey. From this we can get a vague idea of what each of the humans was like, but we still don't have any clue who they actually were. Why did they fall into the underground in the first place, and what were their motives? This is definitely the question that I would like to have answered most of all. Well, in any case, those were my top 5 unanswered questions and mysteries in Undertale. Be sure to share your opinions too! But anyway, that's all for now from me, and I hope to see you next time.